Hello everyone, welcome to Casa de Myra and Oscar, better known as Casa de Mayos. Today we have a two-part series video, which is a DIY storage shed build that we made from scratch. Now, we're not professionals by any means, so you will see some mistakes along the way. We'll go ahead and try to highlight those in the video and try to explain what we could have done better. This first part of the series is the floor build, and the second portion of the series is going to be the completed project. Feel free to comment down below if you have any questions or suggestions, and welcome to our channel. So the initial plan was to build everything from scratch to include the floor, the walls, and the roofing and all that. However, we ended up finding a pre-manufactured build-your-own type storage shed kit, which is this one here. It's the Arrow Lexington series. It's a 10 by 14 in size, so it's much bigger than what we originally were planning to do, and it ended up being a lot more affordable than building everything from scratch. And as you can see, the box is a little damaged from delivery, so that will take an effect later on in part 2 of this series. You'll see also that more affordable doesn't necessarily mean easier to build, so we'll go ahead and get into that later. So besides that, we also ordered the rest of the supplies from Lowe's. We ended up going with OSB flooring for the plywood on top of the floor, and we decided to make our base out of 2x6 studs. So the first thing we did was measure off the distance we wanted it from the fence. We ended up trying 24 inches at first, which is marked by the orange paint. We thought that that was going to be too close. Nothing could fit in between as far as the lawnmower and all that. So we switched it up to 36 inches, marked by the white paint here. And as you can probably see in the video, these fences are not the straightest of all, so it's not going to be exact square from the fence. So this is a rough estimate, 36 inches from the fence. And from there we decided to square off from getting one of the corners set. After that, it was time to begin our build, so we decided to take care of some tree branches that were probably going to be in the way first, and we began building from there. After getting rid of the branches, we started setting up these stones that were going to be used as support. So we set them up based off of the 36-inch measurement that we did, and we started leveling them off. So in order to level these off, we had to dig and level the ground underneath them so that they could be set. After initially setting the four cornerstones, we decided to start digging for the center stones that were going to be supporting the middle of the floor. And things were going well until we ended up striking our beloved internet cable. After taking a moment to process and understand that we weren't going to have internet for the rest of the day, we decided to keep moving on and begin cutting the studs so that we could continue framing the floor. Luckily, we were told by the internet company they'd be out the next day and they'd be able to replace the cable for free, so no need to patch it up today. So on day one, we built and leveled the frame. Day two is going to consist of us completing the rest of the floor. We're going to install the studs, the beams in between, and we're going to add the plywood after that. So we started by measuring 16 inches on center. That's where the beams are going to be installed. The only different one is going to be the one at the beginning, at the entrance of the storage shed. For some reason, that one ended up being closer to about 5 or 8 inches, if I'm not mistaken. But it helps because it ends up being extra support upon the entrance, so it'll help with heavy items as well. So here you see that we're marking off the beam location, 16 inches on center as mentioned, but I'm marking down, and the reason for this is that it's going to help me once the plywood is on, I could see where the beams are going to be by running a chalk line through the plywood on top. Once we're done marking the beams, we go ahead and start cutting the studs and go from there. So we have most of the studs up with the exception of the one in the middle. And the reason is because one, I was short on beams. And two is we forgot to put the stone, the support stone in the middle. So now we have to lift the frame just a bit and wiggle that in. After that, I head to the store and bought another stud or two. And I ended up using the second stud for support in between the connection of the joists. Also, we added some of the joist hangers, which you see Myra installing here. And after this, we began installing the plywood. The first one fit perfectly, and then we have to cut the second piece of plywood. So that's it for day two. We've completed the floor. This is what it looks like for now. Next up is going to be video number 2, which is going to be the install of the metal shed. So stay tuned for that. Link in the description below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Till next time.